ultimate measure of a business is not where it stands in the moments of comfort, but where it stands at times of challenge and controversy. I've spoken before about the fundamental importance of a business or organisation managing its communications in a time of crisis. And when those communications are delivered inadequately, the devastating and long-term impact it can have on a brand. The rape and murder of Sarah Everard by a Met Police officer in March 2021 has shocked the nation and has rightly stirred protests about violence against women. As the perpetrator was imprisoned recently for a whole life term, the focus of this horrendous incident shifted to the role of the Met Police and the safety of women when approached by plainclothes police officers. How a business or an organisation, even something like the Met Police and its 192-year history, responds to such challenges to its operations can and often does impact the public perception of its brand, both today and in the future. Charles de Gaulle, the former president of France, said that faced with a crisis, the person of character falls back on themselves. They impose their own stamp of action, they take responsibility for it, and they make it their own. As a communicator, as a feminist, and in reality as just a human, I was shocked to read the advice from the Met Police following questions about the concerns women have about being stopped by police officers in light of Sarah's murder. Now, as a man, I can't imagine what it must feel like to be a woman and the fear of being approached by a plainclothes police officer. But in response to that, for the Met Police to advise, amongst other things, that women should be waving a bus down is unbelievable. Someone in a PR or communications role has approved this messaging. There is no doubt that this is an awful example of how a lack of strategy and the wrong communications has a highly damaging impact on an already struggling brand. The priority for anyone leading the crisis communications in a business or organisation has to be ensuring OST is in place. Objective, strategy, tactics. What is the objective of the messaging? What is the strategy that you have to have in place? And then the tactics follow. Before I'd have approved an action, the chocolate teapot advice, I'd question what is the objective of what we're doing here? Now, the objective should be, and I'm very conscious here of being a man talking about issues that men never have and never will experience. It has to be reassuring, real and robust advice to women if they are approached by plainclothes police officers. The arrant nonsense of the Met's communications advice gets a 0 out of 10. Even worse, I imagine there is no objective or strategy in place about how to rebuild trust. From someone outside looking in, what comes across is that the Met Police are wrongly focused on telling women what to do rather than looking inward at their own issues. The problem isn't women. The problem is the Met. The problem they have, that is shared by many businesses both in the past and the future, is that the lack of ability to manage crisis communications so often leads to irreparable damage to their brand.